Back now at 8:09 with more on Wendi Murdoch. She sprung into action when someone tried to attack her husband Rupert with a shaving cream pie during his testimony on Tuesday. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has a closer look at this. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning, Ann. Well, friends say that she has been telling associates for weeks that her husband's tabloid did not do anything that isn't common practice on Fleet Street. And at his hearing, Wendi Murdoch certainly showed the world how far she will go to protect the media tycoon when that self-described comedian went after Rupert Murdoch with a cream-filled pie. She had her husband's back from the beginning, at times leaning forward as if willing Rupert Murdoch on. And when it counted, leaping forward, young, athletic, a former volleyball player in high school, aggressively protecting her 80-year-old husband from the pie-throwing attacker.
Watching him so carefully that she was the first to be able to get up and before the police or before anyone else, swat away this aggressor.
She is Rupert Murdoch's glamorous Chinese-born third wife, widely viewed as a huge asset to his businesses in China and in social and charitable circles here in the U.S. Now she is a celebrity among celebrities, a standout even among political and business elites. 38 years younger than the media baron, she first met him when she was a young executive in one of his TV operations in Hong Kong. Now married for 12 years, the union was at first controversial. Rupert Murdoch's 102-year-old mother once called her new daughter-in-law a designing woman, especially when Wendi challenged her husband's adult children, fighting so that her two young daughters with Murdoch would also get a stake in the company. Murdoch with Charlie Rose.
To our children, we try to combine the best of Chinese and the best of American method to teach them.
And there is her history, coming to the U.S. on a student visa, then marrying her first husband, a man who with his wife had sponsored Wendi, as first reported in the Wall Street Journal.
Wendi, who was a teenager at the time, had an affair with the father of her sort of adopted father, and the two of them ended up getting married for long enough for her to get a green card.
Now she is a force herself, only last week releasing a movie she's produced for her husband's 20th Century Fox.
She's a powerful advocate for her husband, for his interests, and for herself.
A powerful defender of her husband.
Mr. Murdoch, your wife has a very good left hook.
As the whole world has now seen.
Well, it was actually a right hook, but who's counting? Today, one wag admiringly tagged her crouching tiger flying Wendi, a woman who, no matter what happens to Rupert Murdoch, is a fighter to the end. And I think you just heard Savannah say, in China today, they're calling her Smackdown Sister.
That's right, Andrea. Cool. Thank you so much this morning. Well, Gabriel Sherman is a contributing editor for New York Magazine. He wrote a cover story on Rupert Murdoch earlier this year. And Melinda Liu is the Beijing bureau chief for the Daily Beast. Good morning to both of you.
Morning. Thank you.
So were you surprised that Wendi Murdoch is a Smackdown sister?
Not really. I mean, she is a forceful, powerful, independent, strong-willed woman. And this is the world got to see. This is who she is.
Designing woman or a woman in love protecting her 80-year-old husband?
I think absolutely both. Those two things. Also a volleyball player, so that was like a total spike.
You could see it.
Yeah, totally.
She's 42, he's 80 years old, and you have gotten, over the course of the past year, to kind of see her face to face. What can you tell us that we don't know about Wendi Murdoch?
She is one tough lady. She might look slim, demure, as she sat behind Rupert at the hearing, but she is really tough. Her name when she was born was not Wendi, which it is now. It was Wenge, which in Chinese means Cultural Revolution. She was named after the Cultural Revolution, which was the most bloodthirsty, tumultuous, radical period in modern Chinese history.
Yep.
That was China when she was a kid.
And it's amazing, you know, I saw her at a charity event in D.C. this spring, and she was in front of hundreds of people, and she has a very, very thick, you know, Chinese accent, and she was giving a public address and just, you know, plowed right through, wasn't deterred. You know, everyone was sort of talking and distracted, and she just was, you know, up there and was not slowed down at all.
So what is her focus? What is her end game?
She's now the mother of two small children. I think she's very, very focused on making sure those two daughters have the best possible life, you know. As she has. I mean, she's got the American dream, and she wants to make sure that continues.
Tiger mom.
Yeah, and she's really sort of stepped away from the company. There was a lot of speculation earlier on that she wanted to play an active role in the company, and she's just very devoted to her children, and their social life, the celebrity circles. She's introduced Rupert Murdoch to an entirely different world. Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, really the sort of society Hollywood world that for much of his life he had no interest in.
There is some reporting that she has changed him, that at one point he changed the color of his hair.
Yeah, he dyed his hair. He was dressing in sort of hipster blue jeans with Converse sneakers. He was seen at downtown restaurants. I mean, this is an entirely different type of Rupert Murdoch than media watchers had seen for decades. And it's just fascinating that this one woman had so much influence on this very powerful man.
Does she have, though, influence on him, even from behind the scenes, in terms of his mass business?
Yeah, she's a very active voice for him to get involved with the internet. She's friends with the founders of Google, Sergey Brin, and she was behind his MySpace, Rupert Murdoch's MySpace acquisition, so she's really trying to push him into the future.
Okay, and in terms of his relationships, her relationships rather, with his older children, is it true that there is disharmony there? How much?
On the surface, they're very polite and courteous with each other. Behind the scenes, there's got to be tension there. Her children are her focus, and
wasn't there a battle? Didn't she have to sort of battle that they would
and
get
she did, and when I
to...
interviewed Rupert Murdoch's mother in 2010, she told me on the record that she hopes that Wendi and Rupert's children have no role in the company, and she said very, very directly that I don't want Grace or Chloe to have a future role in the company. So there is family split over Wendy's presence in the family.
Do you agree with Michael Wolff, who we heard earlier in the broadcast, who's written a biography about Rupert Murdoch, that this moment that we've been replaying over and over and over again, the fact that we're talking about Wendi Murdoch is pretty much the best gift to one of the most, bedeviled people.
Oh, it's an amazing PR move.
today.
I mean, they couldn't have asked in a certain way for better PR. It changed the entire narrative of the hearing. We're talking about this sort of sympathetic moment of her standing up for Rupert Murdoch, where if that never happened, we would have been talking about all the hacking allegations.
So, designing woman, as you put it, who's now considered
designing, but also
strong woman.
There is genuine chemistry between these two. I mean, it's not just a cynical pairing.
No, there's a deep fondness there.
Yeah,
They call
each other constantly. She wants to make sure his tie is straight when he goes to interview the Prime Minister of China, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Melinda Liu and Gabriel Sherman, thank you so much, both of you. Interesting perspective talking to you both.
Thank you.